Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Jayom Vishnupa Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Ashtatar Shatashi Shima Desi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayom Vishnupa Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Ashtatar Shatashi Shima Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananti Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se go Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavanam Ki Jai. Mathuradam Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Yamunamaya Ki Jai. Dangamaya Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru Enguranga.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Hiranyakashiporvaksha.
Hiranyakashiporvaksha.
Shilatankanakalaye. Ito Nrsimha Bharato Nrsimha. Yato Yato Yanitato Nrsimha. Hari Nrsimha Namo Sindhini Sharanam Prapadye. Tanakarakanavare Nikam Adbhuta Shunna Kanutari Kashipu Tanibhana Keshavadruta Nyanurupa Jaya Jagadishanaru Jaya Jagadishanaru. Keshavadita Narahani Rupa Jajagadishanaru Jajagadishanaru Jajagadishanaru. Ram Singh Ki Jai, Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
You've been missing your associations. Okay. Great to have you back.
Hare Krishna. Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your hands and feet inside the yellow lines for the duration of this ride. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama, Hare. We found Paul wandering out on the street one day, and we brought him home with us. Hare Krishna. Okay, Bhagavad Gita class. We start with the introduction prayer on page 1. Om Gana Tramandasya Gyana Jana Shalakya Shakturmita Nina Tasme Shikarave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mono Bishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayan Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapatitikam. I was born in the darkest ignorance. My spiritual master opened my eyes with a torch of knowledge. Offer my respectful obeisances unto him. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavascha Shri Rupa Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunana Vitam Sajivam Savetam Sadhutam Paryajana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishkasmithitam Cha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master and unto the feet of all Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami along with his elder brother Sanata Goswami as well as Raghunath Das and Raghunath Bhatta, Gopala Bhatta and Sriva Jiva Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda along with Vivetya, Acharya, Gadhar, associates. I offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna, along with their associates, Sri Latita and Vishaka. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Dino Bandhu Jagapate, Gopisha, Gopika, Kanta, Radha, Kanta, Namo Sute. Oh, my dear Krishna, you're the friend of the distressed and the source of the creation. You're the master of the gopis and the lover of Radharani. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Tapa Kanchana Garangi Redi Visvasvare Vispanu Sute Devi Pranamame Hare Pare. I offer my respects to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold, and who is the queen of Vrindavan. You are the daughter of King Vishvanu, and you are very dear to the Lord. Panchakalpa Totpayascha Kripa Sindhu Evascha Patitanam Pamrubayo Vaishnavano Namo Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like the desire of trees, and who are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Veta Gadhar, Shri Vasti Gaur Bhaktavinda. I offer my obeisances to Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Veta Gadhar, Shri Vasa, and all others in the line of devotion. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we are on chapter 5, starting at text 18 today. Here at RABC, we do 11 verses a day. We read the Sanskrit and the translation and read the reports and have a little class on these. This way we hear the entire Bhagavad Gita in 3 months' time. So every 3 months we hear the entire Bhagavad Gita. It's pretty nice. So text starting at text 17 today. Tad Buddhasya tad atmanas tad nishnas tad pareyan gachanti apuna apityam jnana nirata kalmasya. Translation: when one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of misgivings through complete knowledge and thus proceeds straight on the path of liberation. Text 18. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hashitni Suni Chaiva Swapakicha Patita Samadarshanina. Translation: the humble sage, by virtue of true knowledge, sees with equal vision a learned and a gentle brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog-eater outcast. Text 19. Evaya tarutita sargo yasham samye samhitamana nidosham hi samam brahma tasmas brahmani te sita. Translation: those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahman, and this they have already situated in the Brahman. Text 20. Na paryasyat priyam prapya no vidyat prapya kapridyam sritra buddhir asmudapado brahma vibhamani siddhita. Translation: a person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant nor laments upon attaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, unbewildered, and knows the science of God, is to be understood as already situated in transcendence. Text 21. Vaya sarpasesu ashaktakma vendati atmani yat shukam sabrahma yoga yuktatma shukam asyayam asunte. Translation: such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure or external object, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme. Text 22. Yehi samparasya boga dukkha yonyaya ivate adhyatvantat konteya nateshu marmate buddha. Translation: An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them. Text 23. Saknotit vaya yo sodhum praksarya vidmokshantnat kama krodat bhavam vigam sayukta sayuksuki nara. Translation: Before giving up to this present body, if one is able to tolerate the urges of the material senses and check the force of desire and anger, he is a yogi and is happy in this world. Text 24. Yonita sukho nitaramas tarataryata ivaya sayogi brahma nivanyam brahma bhuta digachati. Translation: One whose happiness is within, who is active within, who rejoices within, is illumined within, is actually the perfect mystic. He is liberated in the Supreme, and ultimately he attains the Supreme. Text 25. Labaranti Brahma Nirvanam Rasha Krishna Kasamasha Shina Divade Yatdatma Sarva Bhuta Hite Rata. One who is beyond duality and doubt, whose mind is engaged within, who is always busy working for the welfare of all sentient beings, and who is free from all sins, achieves liberation in the Supreme. Text 26. Kama kroda vimuktatnam yatitnam yatta chetasam abhito brahma nirvanam varati vidyatmanam. Those who are free from anger and all material desires, or who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, are assured of liberation and the Supreme in the very near future. Text 27 to 28, our final text this evening. Actually, we'll go also do text 29 because that will end this chapter. Sparsam kritva bahir bharyasmam chakshu chayanavatar bharuvo pranapano tamu kritva nasha bharyatara chanu yatendraya manu buddhir manu boksha paradayana vigyachita bhayo krito yasada mukta ivasa. Translation: Shutting out all external sense objects. Gornitai ki jai. Keeping the eyes and visions concentrated between the two eyebrows, suspending the inward and outward breaths within the nostrils, thus controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence, the transcendentalist becomes free from desire, fear, and anger. One who is always in this state is certainly liberated. Text 29. Let's see here. Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram suram sarva bhutanam yatva mam satyam rachati. The sages, knowing me, is the ultimate purpose of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attain peace from the pangs of material miseries. Turning back to text 17. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. When one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of misgivings through complete knowledge and thus proceeds straight on the path of liberation. Purport. The Supreme Transcendental Truth is Lord Krishna. The whole Bhagavad Gita centers around the declaration of Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the version of all Vedic literature. Paratapa means the supreme reality, who is understood by the knowers of the supreme as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Bhagavan, or the supreme personality of Godhead, is the last word in the absolute. There is nothing more than that. The Lord says, Mata Parataram Nanyat Kinchit Asti Dhananat Jaya. Therefore, in all ways, Krishna is the supreme reality, one whose mind, intelligence, and faith and refuge are always in Krishna, or in other words, one who is fully in Krishna consciousness is undoubtedly washed clean of all misgivings, and is in the perfect knowledge in everything concerning transcendence. A Krishna-conscious person can thoroughly understand that there is duality, simultaneously identity and individuality in Krishna, and equipped with such transcendental knowledge, one can make steady progress on the path of liberation. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Translation once again. When one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of misgivings through complete knowledge and thus proceeds straight on the path of liberation. That's Christian consciousness. That's what we're training the mind to do. That's benefits of the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Maha Mantra, names of the Lord. Names of the Lord, when we hear them, they're one and the same with Krishna. They're non-different. So as we learn to take refuge in the Maha Mantra, we're keeping our mind and concentration on Krishna alone. Keeping our intelligence on Him, keeping our awareness on Him. When we do our morning rounds, our 16 rounds in the morning, that's just the beginning. You know, we're training our mind to be aware of the Maha Mantra, not so much these running thoughts that are continually running through our head. Because we, being born into this world, we are controlled by the mind all the time. The mind's saying, I want to do this, I want to do that. You know, I'm not comfortable in this environment. You know, it's too hot, it's too cold, I'm hungry. You know, the mind's always, poking and prodding us, saying all kinds of things. So we're learning how to shift our awareness from that to the Maha Mantra in this morning meditation. So as we're chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, I want to go for breakfast today. Oh, a thought. That's when you realize you have a thought, you bring yourself back to the mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I wonder why that person looks weird. Oh, there's another thought. You bring yourself back to the mantra. You have to do this over and over and over again. This is a training of the mind, training of putting your awareness and getting it situated into the mantra. Because we're wanting the mind, our awareness, to be fixated on that. In this way, this is how you get the nectar to rise. Especially, like I said, the morning mantra, the 16 rounds, that's just the beginning. You take this with you throughout the day, and in your service. So as you're doing your service, doesn't matter what it is, if you're washing dishes, sweeping the floor, cleaning the windows, cooking, doesn't matter what you're doing. You chant the mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And just as the same as you were doing with the beads in the morning, when these other thoughts arise and try to distract you, recognize it. I was like, oh, that's a thought. And bring yourself back to the mantra over and over again. Through this, with practice, with time and practice, you'll make your mind your best friend. Because the thing of it is, I talk about this a lot, if you don't have control over your mind, if your mind's in control, it doesn't matter if you're in the lap of luxury, you're going to be miserable. Doesn't matter if you're surrounded by gold. Doesn't matter if you have the fluffiest pillow. Doesn't matter if you have the finest food. Doesn't matter if you have all the sense pleasures in front of you. If you don't have control over the mind, you're going to be disturbed. There's great personalities that have learned this in this world. I like to use the examples like Elvis Presley, king of rock and roll. Name, wealth, fame, prestige, had fans worshiping him. But he didn't have control over his mind. Had to resort to drugs for happiness. In the end, the drugs took his life. Michael Jackson, king of pop. Oh man, what a personality. Fans worshipped him. Name, fame, prestige, wealth. Had family, had kids. He was so popular that, to walk outside on his own property, he had to have personal security guards with him. Because people will he was so popular, people will parachute in from above down into Neverland just to meet him, because he was so popular. But he too didn't have control of his mind. He found himself in all kinds of miseries. Even though he was surrounded by all this wealth and prestige and people just adoring him. He was addicted to prescription drugs. In the end, the prescription drugs that he had to take just to fall asleep at night took his life. Robin Williams, another great personality. Name, fame, prestige, family, great actor, great comedian. Brought joy and laughter to millions of people. But he himself was also fighting his mind. In his career, he was fighting cocaine addiction, alcoholism, going through rehabs. And in the end, he took his own life. He had everything, but he did not have control of his mind. That's why Krishna consciousness is so important. That's why it's so important for us to go out on Harinam. Try to rescue these conditioned souls. As I was talking the other day, about having pets. Having a cat and a dog. My dog would go and run and eat the cat's litter. The cat's poop. You enjoyed it. No matter how many times I tried to explain to the dog, no, that's nasty, spit it out, yuck. The dog doesn't understand. Just doesn't understand. He's trapped in the material sense enjoyment. I can't beat the dog. And I'll just be a cruel person that's beating a dog that's enjoying something that tastes good to him. Same thing in this material world when we're dealing with humans, with our fellow humans. Seeing a person eating a hamburger. Oh, don't eat that. That's disgusting. Spit it out. Oh, jeez. Oh, that's why we have the Maha Mantra. Like I said, we can't take a stick and beat them because they're eating a hamburger. We just have to look at them with love and give them the Maha Mantra. Try to push some prasadam their way. Push a higher taste. Because it's unfortunately, the bumblebee doesn't try to convince the fly that the stool is terrible. But we're Hare Krishnas. We're trying to help everyone out there. Not everyone wants help. Many people are satisfied with chasing their own sense pleasures and creating their own sufferings, because in the end we're responsible for creating our own sufferings. We're responsible for creating our own hell. We're responsible for creating our own heaven. When we indulge in sense objects, we are being bound into this material world through our actions. Karma binds us. We're not looking for good karma. We're not looking for bad karma. We don't want any karma. Devotional service is what purifies us from karma, from our past actions. Any questions or comments so far? Yes, Prabhu.
I like the example that you used about the dog eating stool, because I think Prabhupada said, and I think Mangadhar said in his class, if you give I think about the kid told me this too, but he said if you can't give a hog halwa because he won't like it, because it's not what he's used to eating. Even though it's the finest foods in the world, still will reject it because he prefers the stool instead of this delicacy that's right in front of him.
Yep. And see, that's the thing with the material world, because we're all here because we're wanting to be our own gods. We're wanting to, try to enjoy separately from Krishna. That's why we're here. To escape this, we have to return to a constitutional position as a servant of Krishna, as a part and parcel. That's our position in life. And so in many ways, there are so many, trillions and trillions of souls and jivas out there. As I was saying, that some aren't ready to be saved. Sometimes it takes millions and millions of births for a soul to come to that realization. It's like, man, I am tired of chasing this sense pleasure over and over. It doesn't last. I'm tired of it. There's got to be something better. That's when these souls find shelter in Krishna consciousness. These are the souls that we're looking for. When we're going out on Harinams, when we're going out on book distribution, these souls that have realized that they're tired of this, chasing this sense pleasure, that they're ready to find the pathway to liberation. We're here to help them to, find the guiding light. Help them to make that transition. So we have to take shelter of the Guru. The Guru is here to give us all the knowledge and mercy of Krishna. We have this wonderful param system where as I'm praying to my guru is praying to his guru is praying to his guru, and so forth, going all the way back to Krishna. All the way back to Krishna. So when you're initiated into the system, you have a whole line of acharyas praying for you, lifting you up, taking you home to Krishna. We'll move on to text 18. The humble sage, by virtue of true knowledge, sees with equal vision a learned, a gentle Brahman, a cow, an elephant, and a dog-eater outcast. Purport. A Krishna-conscious person does not make any distinction between species or castes. The Brahma and the outcast may be different from the social point of view, or a dog, a cow, or an elephant may be different from the point of view of species. But these differences of the body are meaningless from the viewpoint of a learned transcendentalist. This is due to their relationship to the Supreme. For the Supreme Lord, by his plenary portion, as Paramatma, is present in everyone's heart. Did I skip a line here? This is due to their... I'm sorry. Sometimes my eyes skip a line. This is due to their relationship to the Supreme, to the Supreme Lord, by his plenary portion as Paramatma is present in everyone's heart. Such an understanding of the Supreme is real knowledge. As far as the bodies are concerned, in different castes or different species of life, the Lord is equally kind to everyone because he treats every living being as a friend, yet maintains himself as Paramatma, regardless of the circumstances of the living entities. The Lord as Paramatma is present both in the outcasts and in the Brahmanas. Although the body of the Brahmana and that of the outcasts are not the same, the bodies are material productions of different modes of material nature, but the soul and the super soul within the body are the same spiritual quality. The similarity in the quality of the soul and the super soul, however, does not make them equal to quantity, for the individual soul is present only in that particular body, whereas the Paramatma is present in each and every body. A Krishna-conscious person has full knowledge of this, and therefore is truly learned and has equal vision. The similar characteristics of the soul and supersoul are that they are both conscious, eternal, and blissful. But the difference is that the individual soul is conscious within the limited jurisdiction of the body, whereas the supersoul is conscious of all bodies. The supersoul is present in all bodies without distinction. Any questions on that? Text 19. Those whose minds are established in sameness, equanimity, have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahman, and thus they are already situated in Brahman. Purport. Equanimity of mind, as mentioned above, is a sign of self-realization. Those who have actually attained to such a stage should be considered to have conquered the material conditions, specifically birth and death. As long as one identifies with this body, he is considered a conditioned soul. But as soon as he is elevated to the stage of equanimity through realization of self, he is liberated from the conditional life. In other words, he is no longer subject to take birth in the material world, but can enter into the spiritual sky after his death. The Lord is flawless because he is without attraction or hatred. Similarly, when a living entity is without attraction or hatred, he also becomes flawless and eligible to enter into the spiritual sky. Such persons are to be considered already liberated, and their symptoms are described below. So So I was talking about karma earlier, good karma, bad karma. Karma is what binds us to this world. You know, good karma, bad karma. You do good things, you know, you get rewarded, you know, with good things. You do bad things, you get rewarded with bad things. And all these actions bind you to this world. It's only through Krishna consciousness, only through bhakti yoga, that you can be free from being bound in these actions. When we're acting in Krishna consciousness, we're actually purifying our past actions, purifying our past karma. We're not creating new karma when we're doing everything in service to the Lord. And this, as I was saying, this karma is binding. Those with karma, you know, those that may have been really good karma had, you know, did a lot of pious activities, can take birth into a to a heavenly planet where they have great sense pleasures, but that's just another jail cell. That we're still trapped in the material world. You know, you're getting your good karma repaid. Your good karma is rewarded. You're just in a nicer cell. You know, eventually you have to fall back down, back to, you know, human birth again. Bad karma. You know, those who partake in bad karma and get rewarded with bad karma can revolt into some really hellish conditions of life. You know, can actually be reborn as an animal, as an insect, as bacteria. Some hellish, very hellish conditions of life. You know, I always like to think of the dung beetle. You know, dung beetle, you know, can you imagine being a dung beetle? Being so proud of rolling around a ball of dung, pushing a ball of dung around in front of you all day. Oh, look, more dung to add to my ball. Look at my ball of dung. I'm so proud of it. Yeah. But very easily we can slip into, you know, all these other forms. And the human form is a very rare form. There's a long line for people waiting, you know, souls waiting to get to the human form. For instance, you know, there's like 8,400,000 forms of species. The Vedas talk about 8,400,000 forms that we can take birth into. All these different jail cells that we can take birth into. The ant, just the ant kingdom alone, it's estimated there's over 40 quadrillion ants on Earth. 40 quadrillion. There's only 8 billion humans. That's a long line of, you know, souls, of jivas waiting for human birth. So we have this human birth. You know, we don't want to mess it up. We definitely don't want to go back down to animal form again, you know. And that's the beauty of Krishna consciousness. That's the beauty of Bhakti Yoga. Because it gives us even if we don't get purified in this lifetime, by acting in Bhakti Yoga, by taking up Bhakti Yoga, say we don't get fully purified, we get a fast pass back to humanity. We get a fast pass back to human birth. It saves us from the most hellish conditions of life. Yes, Prabhu.
I was wondering if you had any comments on this line here where it says, "The Lord is flawless because he is without attraction or hatred. Similarly, when a living entity is without attraction or hatred, he also becomes flawless and eligible to enter in the spiritual sky. So what does it mean for us to become without attraction or hatred?
Without attraction, without hatred, means that in this material world, there's nothing in this material world that's attracting you anymore. There's you neither hate or attracted to anything in this material world. The only thing that you're attracted to is Krishna. That's our constitutional position. That's where we're training our mind to be attached to. The more that we are giving ourselves to Krishna, the more that he is giving himself to us. Love is the only way to capture Krishna. There's a story in Srimad Bhagavatam where young Krishna, the butter thief, is stealing butter. He's stealing butter, and his mother Yashoda, catches him stealing the butter, and Mother Yashoda has had enough of it. She wants to discipline Krishna. And so she takes Krishna and tries to tie him to a mortar. Yeah, this would be called child abuse these days. But she tries to tie him to a mortar, but this is Krishna. And she's trying to tie him, and the rope comes up 2 inches too short. So she ties another piece of rope onto it and tries to tie him up again. It's still 2 inches too short. She does this over and over and over and over again. She's becoming very flustered. But because of her love and devotion, because Krishna saw her love and devotion, he allowed himself to be tied up. That's the only way that we can attach ourselves to Krishna, is through pure love and devotion. And the thing about love, it sounds so easy, but yet in today's world, we only know this perverted form of love. Because it's an overused word. I love my boat, I love my car, I love my house, I love this TV show, I love the Super Bowl, I love my pet dog, I love my goldfish. We only know this perverted form of love. So it takes the guru, the spiritual master, to teach us how to love in devotional service. How to perform loving devotional service. Any questions or comments? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for your explanation. Very nice question. I was reminded of a verse that talks about just kind of what you were speaking. Do you mind if I share it?
Yes, please.
I can put it on the screen. This is found in chapter 3, text 34. Let me see here. All right. So the Sanskrit is Indriyas Yarte Ragadvashao Vivastitao Tayor Navasham Aghachchet Tao Yasya Paripantinao. And the translation, Attraction and repulsion for sense objects are felt by embodied beings. But one should not fall under the control of senses and sense objects because they are stumbling blocks on the path of self-realization. Can I read a little bit of the purport?
Mm-hmm. Yes, please.
It says, those who are in Krishna consciousness are naturally reluctant to engage in material sense gratifications. But those who are not in such consciousness should follow the rules and regulations of the revealed scriptures.
Unrestricted sense enjoyment is the cause of material engagement, but one who follows the rules and regulations of the revealed scriptures does not become entangled by the sense objects. And on that note, there's another verse, if we jump to chapter 2, text 64, that talks about why following these regulated principles of freedom how following it says, one who can control his senses by practicing the regulated principles of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord and thus become free from all attachment and aversion. So, as you so nicely pointed out before, the soul's always needing to be attached to something. So, this attachment and aversion is purely spoken about by Lord Krishna in a material sense. We detach ourselves from Krishna, from the material misidentification with the body, this conception that we've fallen under, and we attach ourselves to our rightful place as Lord Krishna's eternal servant. And by doing so, we become free from all kinds of material sufferings. So that was just my 2 cents. Thank you for letting me share.
Yes, very nice, Prabhu. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, we're, as he's saying there, we're trying to unattach ourselves from this material attachments. In many ways, we are addicted to this material world. Anything can become an addiction. And the Maha Mantra is what frees us. Bhakti Yoga is what frees us from this. Surrendering to Krishna is what frees us from this. I think that's our time for today. Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai.